It's the middle of the trading week and it's time once again for Targets in Focus. Hello, I'm Thomas Taplin and today I'm joined by the senior dealer from Capital Spreads, Zahid Mahmood, and he joins me on the line now from London. Zahid, you've chosen three currency pairs today, the euro-dollar, the dollar-yen and the euro-NOK. Let's start with the euro-dollar. The euro's declined of late against the dollar after worse than expected German export figures. What are your predictions for this pair over the coming months?
I'm actually very bearish euro-dollar in general. The very reason is I think Europe's in a far worse situation than many people are even now believing it to be so. We have, for example, the Greece audit coming up in September, and now many people are pricing in the fact that Greece might actually leave the Eurozone, probably at least in the next 3 months or so. That in itself will be quite a big disaster. But aside from that, there's so many problems in so many Eurozone countries that they just cannot pump enough money into the Eurozone as a result. If you look at the chart for the Eurozone, it's just been trending downwards over the last year or so, and I don't see that changing. What you end up happening is that you've got the Eurozone countries continuously pumping money into the Eurozone countries. You get this temporary blip back where Europe rebounds, but then the overall trend seems to be down again, and I don't actually see that changing. So, for example, over the next 3 months or so, I mean, I see the trend in euro continuing to go down. I see euro going down to about 125 121.50, sorry, within the next 3 months. It's hit a low, a very strong, where there's a support level around 118.75 previously, and I see that being tested again because markets tend to have a tendency to test previous highs and lows. I certainly see it hitting the 118.75 within the next 6 months or so. But I then see around the 118, 119 level being quite strong support level. If anything, it's going to be range bound around that price level, which is why I think within about 9 months or so, you're probably looking at the price trading around the 120 level. Okay,
moving on to the dollar-yen. When I last spoke to you, you told me this was one to watch out for. Is this more to do with hints by Mario Draghi that the ECB could restart its bond buying programme, or something else?
The dollar-yen, the way I generally see it, it's not as much to do with Mario Draghi as it's to do with the Japanese central bank, and the fact that the Japanese yen has been primarily been used as a safe haven currency in the same way the US dollar is being used as a safe haven currency. So what you're basically seeing is obviously the Japanese don't want a very strong currency, and they continue to try and make it weak, but everybody else is piling into that currency as a safe haven to protect them against what's happening elsewhere. If you look at dollar-yen over the last year, or at least last couple of years, you see that the volatility in dollar-yen on the whole seems to be quite low. And I don't certainly see that changing, especially if the Eurozone crisis continues the way it has done so, and especially if you see people continue to buy the Japanese yen as a safe haven currency, you're going to see quite narrow trading ranges for the yen currency. And so for the next 3 months, for example, I mean, it's trading around 78.40 or so at the moment. I mean, the volatility is so low in this, I just don't see that changing. So in the next 3 months, you're probably going to see it trading down to about 78. The trend in yen again, dollar-yen again, it seems to be on the downside. I mean, it shows that dollar-yen is actually strengthening. And as a result of that, over the next 6 months, you're going to probably see it go down to about 77 again. It hit historic lows around 76.40 or so, 76.50 or so, I believe. And certainly the trend looks like it's going to continue going down there. But I don't expect to be substantial moves either on the upside or the downside over the next month or so. So certainly a bounce back to about 78 certainly seems likely.
And finally, tell us a little bit about your predictions for the euro-NOK, Zahid. Will factory output continue to increase in Norway? And could this alone maintain a positive sentiment on the forex market over the coming months?
I think not to the greater extent as you've got the yen currency and the US dollar currency. I think people are looking for alternative currencies where the economies on the whole generally tend to be quite good. So if you're looking at euro-NOK, for example, again, you're seeing quite good strength in that currency as well. And the trend, again, seems to be on the downside. So, I mean, if you're looking from about the mid-2009 to where we are now, the trend continually seems to be down, and that seems to be reflecting what's happening in reflecting in the opposite way in terms of what's happening in other Eurozone countries. And again, they're using that as an alternative place to put money compared to the euro, for example. So, I mean, if you just extrapolate that trend downwards, you're looking at NOK probably in the next 3 months down to about 730, and I certainly see that trend continue to go down, maybe down to about 722 in 6 months, and then sitting around 720, 721, by 9 months' time or so.
Okay, thanks for joining us, Zahid, and giving us your price predictions on those currency pairs. That's about all we've got time for at the moment. Stay tuned throughout the day, though, for more updates and interviews from me and the team here at Dukascopy TV. Until next time, though, goodbye.